Hey everybody, the reason you clicked on the thumbnail because in this episode, I have special guest Payton Doyle joining me today, and we're going to dive into our AFC North season predictions. Now, the AFC North was one of the most exciting divisions of football last year, and I don't think they're going to do much to disappoint this year, man. From exciting free agency moves to a great NFL draft for pretty much every team. They even had the Bengals go to a Super Bowl, so we're going to talk about them here in a bit. Now, in this episode, we're going to start off with the Browns, Bengals, then, of course, we got the Ravens, and then we'll finish off with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going to be a very exciting episode. Each team is going to get my breakdown and Peyton's breakdown, and we're going to predict how each team is going to do this season. Now, starting off, we're going to start with your favorite team, the beloved Browns. Now, this has been a very exciting year, but that does not come without controversy. You guys are on the up and up, and y'all got Deshaun Watson. If you don't know who Deshaun Watson is, then you don't know football. They got Amari Cooper. They got Chase Winovich. Come the draft, they got Martin Emerson, Alex Wright. Then they got Jerome Ford, running back from Cincinnati. That's a nice pickup there. Before I say my prediction, man, Peyton, talk to me, man. There's a lot going on. Is Deshaun going to get suspended or isn't he? What are your thoughts? And then what's your season prediction?
Well, with Deshaun, I mean, the decision to suspend Deshaun Watson has so much on the line. What Sue Robinson does can impact the entire NFL, the entire landscape of the NFL in one decision. We're hearing rumblings of 4 games. We're hearing rumblings of a season. The answer is really plain and simple, and that's we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson right now. So the Browns have 2 realities. Really 2 realities, because I feel like there's no way Deshaun Watson doesn't get suspended. So that's kind of off the table. You have the reality where Deshaun Watson plays this year, and you just hope that Jacoby Brissett can keep you guys afloat until Deshaun Watson comes back and saves the day. Now, the other one would be Deshaun Watson's gone for the year. Jacoby Brissett's the starter, in which you win about 4 or 5 games. You have a top 10 pick, and well, actually, you don't. Houston would have another top 10 pick because you traded that pick for Deshaun Watson. So that's kind of the 2 realities for the Browns. If Deshaun Watson plays, they're a playoff team. They're contenders. If Deshaun Watson's not on the field, they're not going to be very good. A rookie I would say to look out for on the Browns, though, would be David Bell out of Purdue, wide receiver. The Browns are in need to have a true number 2 option. Donovan Peoples-Jones, the guys they have right now, are they really bona fide number 2 options? Obviously, Amari Cooper's the number 1. But are they number 2s? We don't know yet. But David Bell's going to come in as a rookie, and I think he's going to put up big numbers in that Browns offense, especially if they start to open up the passing game if Deshaun Watson plays.
I like it. And then, of course, I have to ask you, man, season predictions, man. Assuming Deshaun Watson, let's meet him in the middle. Let's say he gets suspended for 6 games, for having frivolous behavior underneath the covers. Where do you got them winning? How many losses do they have as well, too?
I would say if he's suspended for only 6 games, the Browns would go 12-5.
Ooh, okay. I like it.
The early part of the Browns schedule is very favorable to them. Their first 6 games before the bye, they're not playing very good teams. The best team I believe they have to play is the Chargers in those games. So Jacoby Brissett, while he's not a great starter, he's a decent backup, and he can come in and not lose the game. He's not going to lose you the game as the backup. And he's just going to do his job, manage the offense. Obviously, you have a great O-line, a great running game. Just kind of feed the ball to Chubb and hope that you can manage the clock and play defense. I think that's enough to keep them afloat for those 6 games while Deshaun Watson's out. Deshaun Watson comes back, and obviously, people are forgetting about Deshaun Watson. And I get it because the media is kind of down on him because, all this controversy surrounding him. I get it. I understand it. I do. And we don't want to speak good on a guy that potentially did bad things. Yeah. However, if you're an analyst, right, and you look at on-the-field performance, and you can just put your emotions aside for a second, we're forgetting about who Deshaun Watson is. We're forgetting about who Deshaun Watson is, and you can run it back. I'm not saying this because I'm a fan. You can run it back. 2 years ago, I was saying Deshaun Watson needs to get out of Houston. Deshaun Watson needs to get out of Houston. Deshaun Watson might be better than Patrick Mahomes. He might be the best quarterback in the league. And it wasn't just me. There was other analysts that watch football 24/7, watch plays every single day, break down film that would tell you that Deshaun Watson, accuracy, arm, mobility, playmaking, improvising, reading a defense is top 5 in every single category you could imagine as a quarterback. And people are kind of downplaying him like, oh, well, you know, he wasn't very successful in Houston. Houston sucked, dude.
They're
Houston
trash.
freaking sucked. Houston
Armpit
sucked.
of a team too, an organization.
Exactly. Nothing was good for him there.
Yeah.
And you could say that, oh man, he didn't win that much. But if you put him on Kansas City, you tell me if there's a huge difference between him and Mahomes during that amount of time that Mahomes has had success. I don't think there's a huge difference. Deshaun Watson is that dude. And if he plays this year, the Browns are going to be that team.
Well, there's a difference. Deshaun Watson doesn't speak like a frog. Sorry, I had to break the ice. I love it, man. No, I'm right there with you, man. I got him slightly under. I got him at 11 wins, actually. I think that there's going to be a rusty period, man, because there's still 1 year out of the NFL. You know what I mean? That's one whole year. But we've seen that all the time, too, right? Guys have injuries or get suspended for something they shouldn't have done, right? So, and supposedly he's been staying up to par. They had a bad practice, I think it was a few weeks ago, where he threw like a few interceptions. You know, he's on a brand new team, shaking off the rust. That's going to happen. Brady, that's going to happen. It don't matter. That happens to pretty much every NFL quarterback, right? And they have a serviceable secondary, too, who's going to, you know. So, hey, he's knocking off the rust, and what better way to do that with your team, right? But I got him with the 11 wins and making the wild card, man, because, you know, AFC is probably the craziest it's been in the entire NFL history. That's another episode.
It's absurd. But I'll tell you this. Mm-hmm. That's all that matters for the Browns. It doesn't matter if you win the division or not.
Yeah.
Withstand the Deshaun Watson suspension, get to the playoffs, and know you have that guy at quarterback that can get you over the top as a wild card.
Yeah. Amen, brother. Amen. And then the next team we're going to take and talk about, speaking of the playoffs and Super Bowl, the Bengals, Joe Burrow. Never in NFL history have we had a team go, at least not to my knowledge, go from, 3 wins, 4 wins, whatever they had, and then turn it around completely, have a miraculous playoff run, and daggone near almost won the Super Bowl. On top of that, your quarterback was the most sacked in the NFL last year. If you can't say amen, say ouch, man. That is just insane to me. But that's not what the episode's about. I'm just shocked even to this day. But let's talk about it, man. Cam Taylor-Britt, cornerback. That was a pretty good pickup in the draft. They got Tyson Anderson, safety. So they beefed up the secondary a little bit. I thought it was okay. Obviously, their secondary is what took and lost them the Super Bowl, right? But that's a big area of opportunity along with the O-line. And a lot of it was Joe Burrow, and it's just his magnificence, man, his swagger on the field. And that really carried that team. But the biggest thing that stands out to me is this O-line pickup, and that's going to be La'el Collins, right tackle, came from the Dallas Cowboys, man. Then on top of that, you got Alex Kappa, one of the better guards. I would say he's definitely above mid-range, but came over from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. So this team definitely got better. Look, man, I'm sincere off the bat, man, that they could have a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover. Are they still going to be as hungry as they were last year? I tend to be a little bit harder on teams like, just because they went to Super Bowl last year, they're just going to go back. Like, no. I actually have the Bengals having, again, this is a crazy division, man. I got them with 11 wins, though. I got them with 11 wins. And actually tying with you guys. So I'm still not sure who I think is going to win the division. It could be them. Actually, could be the Browns. But I got them with 11 wins, man. What do you got the Bengals going as?
Yeah, I have the Bengals. I'm high on the Bengals. I have the Bengals winning 13 games this year, winning the division.
Okay.
Joe Burrow's that guy. Joe Burrow is that guy. Joe Burrow, one thing about Joe Burrow is that he's a winner. And now he also has the talent around him to win. Mm-hmm. So you look at the Bengals' history as a franchise. Cheap, incredibly cheap. Never really makes moves in the offseason. They don't want to spend money. They don't want to do that. What they do, they had one glaring need, and that was offensive line. And they spent the most money on their offensive line out of any team in the offseason this season. The Bengals spent the most money on their O-line. That's significant because that was their biggest weakness, and they've gotten much, much better at that. I think Joe Mixon's going to have a great season because of it. And I think Burrow is just going to have a field day because he's going to have an extra, like, I don't care if it gives him an extra half a second. An extra half a second might have won him the Super Bowl. We've seen the photo. Jamar Chase wide open down the sideline against Jalen Ramsey. If he had an extra half a second, he might be able to get that ball off. That's why you beef up that offensive line. And I'm incredibly proud of the Bengals for the willingness to go dig deep into their pockets and spend money to protect their franchise guy in Joey B.
Yeah, I love it, man. Yeah, that's very true, man. I'll say this, man. After that Super Bowl, you and I, it's no secret, per the zip code, area code down below, we live here in Florida. I started seeing Skyline chili everywhere in Walmart. But they told me stay away from it because it may give me diarrhea. So, I don't know. I'll take a chance.
I'm not staying away from it, bro. That stuff is good.
Is it really? Okay.
Yes.
Because you said it, I'm gonna get it now. It's at Walmart for like $1.27. My whole thing is I'm gonna get on a Friday. So if I get diarrhea, hey man, time is money, bro. I can't be calling out because I got the dookie. So next team we're gonna take and talk about the very exciting Baltimore Ravens. My favorite. I'm not even a Ravens fan, but I love Lamar Jackson. He's so electric. Yeah, so what? He didn't make the top 10 quarterbacks. He's not your average quarterback, man. He's tearing it. He could play running back. He could dart it down the field. He's very exciting. He uses all three of his tight ends. It's such a fun offense, and they develop. That's a big thing for the Baltimore is they develop players. Let's talk about that. For the NFL draft this year, my favorite. There were solid picks. There was a lot of depth signings because they're nearly a complete team. But unfortunately, last year they got hit with the injury bug. Right, Daniel, and please forgive me if I'm saying this wrong, folks. Daniel Falel. Specifically under last name, very, very good offensive lineman, man. I'm really excited to see what he does. But then on top of that, you get Marcus Williams, Morgan Moses, D tackle, you get an offensive tackle, and then you get one of the best secondary players in the entire league, Marcus Williams, man. So I'm so excited. I know there was some beef this week between Pollard and then Lamar Jackson, but who gives a dang, man? I do have them. This is tough, man, because the Ravens, man, they're such a good team. I do have a bounce back, but again, I have them at 11 wins. And I'm predicting, one or two teams possibly miss some playoffs with 11 wins, man, between the whole AFC East, or excuse me, the whole AFC in general. But I got them at 11 wins, having a big bounce back year, very competitive year. What do you got the Ravens going as?
Yeah, I have the same thing. I have 11-6. I did like Kyle Hamilton. The Kyle Hamilton pick is great for them because he's a guy that kind of fits that defense because he can kind of be moved around. You could put him in the box. You could put him as a linebacker even, and you can also leave him as a deep safety because he can cover space because he has that speed. He's used to it. Now, I know his 40 time wasn't that great, but watch him on the field. You can see he covers space in pass coverage. So I think Kyle Hamilton was a great pick for the Ravens, but the Ravens, I don't know how they're going to fare against teams that are better than them, if that makes sense. I know that the Ravens year in, year out will always beat the teams that they're supposed to beat. The Ravens will never lose to a team like Jacksonville. They'll never lose to Atlanta. They'll never lose to Carolina. They'll never lose to a team that they're supposed to beat. But against the Bengals, against, the tougher teams, the Bills, the Chiefs, I don't know how they're going to do this year, especially after losing Marquise Brown. That is such a big deal to that offense. Yes, I know they don't throw the ball that much, and I get it. But Marquise Brown made opposing defenses against the Ravens have to stay honest for the passing game, knowing that, okay, if we slack off, he's going to burn us, and Lamar's going to find him for a touchdown. That's what he was. Now you're going to say, okay, we're going to rely on Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman might turn out to be a great receiver. Don't get me wrong. However, Rashad Bateman's not a speed guy. Rashad Bateman's a go across the middle, move the chains, hands guy. Red zone guy. He's not a speed guy. He's not going to burn you over the top like Marquise Brown would. So you're losing a dynamic of that offense. And not only that, it's going to hurt the run game as well because you're not expanding the field. You're not stretching the field as much without a Marquise Brown. So I think the Ravens are going to take a hit by losing him. Unless they go out and sign a speed guy, which they haven't done yet, they're going to lose a piece of that offense that I think was underrated. And it's going to make them have to be more one-dimensional in the running game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, you bring up some good points, man. And I'm happy you touched up on that too, man, because Hollywood Brown, man, he was cold, man. He was so cold, man. I mean, great pickup if you're a Cardinals fan, right? Yeah. Great pickup. But, I mean, that was they were peoples, man. I mean, them dudes grew up together in the same area, and it was a Boynton Beach, I think it was, so it sucks, man, because, like they were supposed to take and grow together in the league, man. And, Lamar Jackson, he's in was a 4th or 5th year in the league, so it's like, I mean, obviously he's 2 years behind him, man, but that's a guy I did not see that move coming, man. I did not see that move. I don't know what all entailed behind that, man, but it sucks it happened. Again, great move if you're the Cardinals, right? But yeah, you made a good point. It keeps secondaries honest, and that's what he did. So, the running game about to be fire though, right? But and the defense is going to be good, man. But sometimes they got too big in certain moments, you know what I mean? And it caught up to the Ravens the season before that, and then last year they just got hit with the injury bug. So let's see if they come back this year, man. It's gonna be interesting. And then on top of that, contract year for Lamar Jackson. So definitely hoping they do some damage. And then of course the last team in the division coming out the Steel City, coming out the blue collar city of Pennsylvania up there in the Northeast, man. Pittsburgh Steelers, man. Very exciting year. I got some hot takes about them, man. And Steelers, man. I don't know, man, but I like the direction y'all are heading to, man. Let's talk about it. Miles Jack, great pickup. Core player. Mason Cole, Levi Wallace, and then of course come draft you get Connor Hayward keeping it all in the family. And then you got Kenny Pickett. I don't know if he's gonna start this year, man, but I'm hearing good things out of that camp over there, man. My whole thing and I love Coach Mike Tomlin, but I don't know, man. I feel like they're the AFC version of the Green Bay Packers. They'll tease you, man. They'll tease you throughout the year, man. And come playoffs, they just, all right, man, we hit our ticket sales. I guess we just stopped playing, man. It's like every year, man. And I don't even put them in Super Bowl conversations, man. But this is a very good team, and I don't see them missing the playoffs this year. But I got them probably at 10 wins this year, man. What do you got them as?
I have the Steelers at 8-9, 7-10 range.
Okay.
Now, it's pretty dependent on, of course, how long Deshaun Watson's out for. Obviously, if Deshaun Watson's playing, they're losing twice to the Browns, which is going to hurt them. But a lot of people are like, well, Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season and blah, blah, blah. Listen, dude, I say this all the freaking time. Don't come to me if you want a history lesson. I'm not a history teacher. I'm not a historian. If you want to know about the past, go watch the History Channel. And that's great. Good for Mike Tomlin. Guess what he's also had every single year? Big Ben, a Hall of Fame quarterback. Gone.
Yeah.
And you brought up the comparison, and I think it's a good one. Of they're the Packers in the AFC, except now Aaron Rodgers is gone.
Yeah,
you're gonna take a hit, and I like Mitchell Trubisky. I do. Don't get me wrong. But now you're gonna have a competition because now if Mitch plays bad, fans are gonna be wanting Pickett and all this and that, and it's gonna be rough. Whenever you have a quarterback controversy, it's rough on teams. And I get it. I love the Miles Jack acquisition. But that defense is going to be good no matter who they put on there. It's going to be what it is. It's going to be a really good team. They're going to blitz the crap out of opposing teams.
Oh, Brian Flores, too.
Yep, and with Brian Flores, they're going to bottle up the run game, and they're going to play great. And I think they're going to be an extremely tough team to beat. Much like the Ravens, I think the Ravens are better because they're more dynamic, especially offensively. But much like the Ravens, the Steelers are going to beat the teams that they're supposed to beat. But teams that are better than them, they're going to lose those 50-50 games, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, no, man, they're going to tease at times, man. I just think, like, come week 13, man, they just – I don't know if they can hold together. Then on top, Mitch Trubisky's your quarterback, and he flashed signs of excellence at times. I mean, I've been hearing about Mitch Trubisky since his college days. Actually, one of my best friends, man, that was his little brother – Josh Cabrera, that was his quarterback at UNC. So I've known about Mitch for a long time, man, and his character, all that stuff. Great teammate, great dude overall, man. But, I mean, Mitch, this is the best team that you've been on, man. The best team that you have been on. And then on top of that, you have several receivers who are probably in their final year of their contract, man. So when I have a long career, man, shine. It's going to be Kenny Pickett's team eventually, but shine, do your thing, so well, awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for doing those breakdowns with me. There you have it, folks. Those are breakdowns for the AFC North. Steelers, Ravens, the Browns, and then, of course, the AFC champs, the Cincinnati Bengals. Let us know your comments. Go down below. Hit that subscribe button if you agree, if you disagree. Maybe you're somewhere in between. Maybe you just hate my face. It don't matter. Go down below, comment. We're going to talk about it. And then, of course, before we go, Payton Doyle, please plug your show. Let the good folks know where they can find you, man.
Yeah, man. So after you subscribe to Doug here, you could find me at PD Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and also YouTube as well. You can find me at Payton Doyle Show on Twitter and Facebook. So I'm pretty much everywhere. I'm on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get podcasts. You can find my show, The Payton Doyle Show. I also post tons of content on TikTok and YouTube as well.
There you have it, folks. And I'm going to have all this information down below in the description. Take it. Look, trust me. Thank me later. Take 30 seconds out of your day, man. Get this guy in your algorithm, man. He's super dope, super live with it, and he covers all kinds of great things. There you have it. There's our prediction.
Time to tune in. Now another sports center. It's a movement.